So live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, good morning, everybody. Rise and grind. It's 5 a.m. with Omie, D, and Rodney. And we are bright and early as usual. It's Thursday here. We got a great show for you. We got weather coming up, some hot topics and opinions and stuff. And maybe even just, I'm just kind of breezing through the weather map right now. And it's going to be an interesting weekend for everybody.
Yeah, man. First of all, it's great to be doing the show at 5 a.m. We had a show this past week. We touched on a few things. It was a short show. So we're going to expand a little bit on some of those topics, also get into some new stuff. And we got a lot to talk about, of course. And we want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to remind you guys you can find the show at ntxgamelive.com, or you can follow us on YouTube. Just type in Rise and Grind Morning Show. You can find all the shows there. And then also on our Facebook page, the Rise and Grind Morning Show Facebook page, you guys can follow us there. We had a lot of people interact with us over the past 28 days since we've been doing the podcast. Man, I want to thank all 8,000 people that have checked us out in some form or fashion. And also follow us on Instagram at Rise and Grind Morning Show as well on Instagram. So without further ado, the highlight of the show, the thing that you guys tune in for right away, none other than Omie D with the weather.
Ba, 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 da, 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 da. And here we go. Oh, wait. Forgot something. I'm sorry. It's da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Boy, it's so early in the morning. I got puberty going and shit. Da, 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 da. Let's start off 80 degrees over here. East Coast, Miami. You got some storms. 73 in Raleigh, North Carolina. Cleared up from that storms yesterday. 47 Cleveland, cold in Burlington. Midwest of the entire country, really the middle section of the entire country. Anything that is running down the Mississippi is probably going to have storms today. 45 in Chicago, 82 in Dallas with some possible thunderstorms, 83 in Houston. Huge swath of thunderstorms across Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas. You guys be careful out there today. 64 in Denver, clear. 66 Santa Fe, 84 Phoenix, 63 in Portland, and a little rain on the West Coast. That's your forecast for Thursday, and your forecast for Friday looks a little bit the same. Oh, wait, I got to get me. No, I want to grab me, not the forecast. Da, 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 da. So we've got the rain that was in the central of the country moving to the east side on Friday. So everybody on the East Coast expect rain from New York, 42, Atlanta, 75, New Orleans, 80 with thunderstorms. Clear in Oklahoma, a little bit of severe weather in the central Texas area, so everybody watch out for that on Friday. 54 in Portland, 66 in Los Angeles, still a little wet weather on that West Coast, so everybody on Friday, except, Kansas City pretty much, in Denver, grab your umbrellas because it's going to be a rainy one. And going to Saturday, your weekend forecast, we've got snow in Jackson, Wyoming, rain in Minneapolis at 64, 75 degrees in Shreveport, 76 in Houston. That rain comes back to the central part of the country. 77 in Atlanta with some light storms, 68 New York, 51 Burlington. And if I were you, I would go hang out in Daytona Beach at 82 degrees on Saturday. That's your weather for the weekend. We'll catch up with you again.
Hold on, baby.
When we come back this week with the rest of the weather. And we are back to our main camera feed with the homie Rodney Fisher.
Yeah, man. Again, thank you for doing the weather. It's my favorite part of the show, of course. It tells me what to put on before I walk out the house and get my day started, before I actually grind after I've already rise. I get that.
Yep.
So we're going to jump right into it. Man, we jumped into a heavy topic last Tuesday because it was, we're talking about Nipsey Hussle. He had passed away. The video started to pop out. Another person that was on the scene has also passed away too. The two guys lost their life two fathers lost their life that day. And since then, just to give a quick update for everybody, they have captured they have identified his killer, and also have captured his killer as well too. Um, and so, anyone out there that's coming up with these conspiracy theories, that we talked about,
Mm.
making about stuff about the government did this, the government did that, and needless to say, we try to tell you guys on Tuesday that this was not that type of situation. This was a definitely black on black situation, jealousy, whatever the case may be. Um, and again, we just want to send our condolences. They're doing a candlelight vigil for him tonight in Dallas. They did one in Houston last night. They're doing them across the country. So again, our condolences to him. And I just want to say, let this be a lesson to all you guys out there. If you are doing anything, you're coming up, you're doing some good things, whether you're doing it in the hood, you're not doing it in the hood, it really doesn't matter. As a black man, period, you just have to always be careful about how accessible you really are. Even if you're doing it for a good reason, even if you're doing it around people that you know. Because Nipsey knew this guy. There's pictures that have been coming out of, they were taking pictures together, they were very close. You can tell by the video, the way he walked up on him, that he knew the guy, wasn't a stranger, wasn't someone with a red flag, it was someone that he knew. So I always want to tell everybody, man, be careful as a black man. You are definitely being hunted by more than just the white man. You're being hunted by other black men too.
Yeah.
So please be careful. Make sure you're not as accessible as you should be. But yeah, I just wanted to just quickly say that before we jump into any other topics. You got anything you want to add to that situation?
Man, you stated it the best. As a black man, you got to keep your head on the swivel for everybody. Jealousy is I was about to quote Diddy, but jealousy is whack. Let's just say that. I ain't gonna use the MF word. Mm-hmm. Jealousy is whack, and the fact that whatever brought this disagreement between this young man or these two young men, and the fact that they knew each other, that it was heated enough that he would come back and shoot that many people is a tragedy in itself. And I think you pretty much touched on it, man. And everybody on Facebook then said enough about everything. So let's just let's just try to move on, man. Let's try to make the community better. Let's try to learn from this. If this unites the Crips and the Bloods, if this becomes the martyr that does it, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But we as black people, it's time to jump off the conspiracy theory train with everything. Sometimes it's just bad people in the hood, and we just have to accept the fact that sometimes ignorant stuff happens like this, and it's not the government's doing, it's our own doing, it's our own unraveling. The government doesn't have to hunt us down anymore. We'll do it ourselves, so they just take the opportunity when a police officer gets a chance to do it. But right now, especially out there in that area, bro, we there in Chicago, we gunning each other down, losing troops in the case of a war. So,
and I want to caution all other rappers and celebrities. I've seen a lot of outpouring of, hey, we're gonna keep this going for you, Nipsey. I know what you were trying to do. We're gonna be, carrying on your legacy. I want those guys to be very, very careful, because there's not many entertainers, artists, athletes that did what Nipsey did. So be careful about comparing yourself to a guy that literally did not leave his hood. Stayed in his hood, built businesses in his hood, and he also built a tech incubator in his neighborhood where he was actually getting kids out of ideas, gave them an incubator, a place where they could actually work and cultivate and actually build businesses. So I want those other celebrities, quote unquote, be very careful about what you say, because people are going to hold you accountable for what you're saying right now. And the reason why I said it is because I saw a post from Future, and admittedly I'm a Future fan. I listen to a lot of Future music. I like his music. But he made a post about how, I'm going to continue your legacy, and we're going to keep doing stuff for the hood and helping the hood out. hey man, giving money, giving people clothes, paying people car notes, paying people's rent, that ain't the type of help Nipsey was doing. All right, bringing your homeboys on the road with you and putting them in designer clothes. That's not the type of help we're talking about. When this guy was literally buying up his neighborhood, this guy was literally employing not just people that he grew up with, but their
Mm-hmm.
parents. Older people, people getting out of prison. So be very, very careful, man, what you do because I hope that this guy doesn't die in vain, and I hope he hold people to a much higher, more accountable standard on what they say giving back really
Amen.
means. That's the hope everybody gets from it. So, um, next topic, while we're touching on things really quick, this is something that me and you talked about. We're in Dallas. I know we're a Dallas-based show. We have all Dallas people that follow us. And this came out this week about the 24-year-old woman in Deep Ellum that was a victim in an attack from a bartender. And Austin Sheffield is the guy's name. I'm going to say the guy's name. Down there, attacked this woman. It was caught on camera. Everybody saw it. Everybody had an opinion about it. But then, now it came out this week that the DA wanted to charge. Her name is LaDonja Lee. Wanted to charge her with a felony for criminal mischief because after that incident happened, it's not on camera. She threw some jumper cables in his back with a felony for criminal mischief. Well, yesterday they decided to drop the felony charges. And the reason they did, though, so we can be transparent as possible, the reason why they really did is because the protesters threatened to march at the Deep Ellum Arts Festival this weekend. You guys don't know what the Deep Ellum Arts Festival is. It's a big event. They closed down the streets of Deep Ellum. There's over 200 bands that perform. There's vendors. There's food. It's a big, huge event. It's probably with Deep Ellum hit his low point when nobody was going to Deep Ellum but us. This was the only thing that brought white people to Deep Ellum was the Deep Ellum Arts Festival. So now they cultivated, they've done some new things. Deep Ellum is totally different now. It's a big deal. But once they threatened to shut it down and protest and do stuff, they decided to drop the charges because they didn't want, whatever's going on. This Dallas district attorney that we have, I don't understand it. First he only charged Austin Sheffield with misdemeanor crimes for the assault. Then he changed his mind and went ahead and charged him with felonies. Then he wanted to charge LaDonja Lee with a felony criminal mischief charge. Now he changed his mind and dropped those charges. What's your initial reaction on hearing all of this, and what do we do about this district attorney we have? So we got a big case coming up with the Zamba Geiger case.
Well, first of all, to address the situation at hand. So sadly, it's not caught on camera, but the young lady throws booster cables through this man's back window.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever had your back window broken, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. However, if you just punch somebody in the face 5 times and you got your back window broken, you kind of got to understand why you got your back window broken too. The fact that they wanted to bring those charges to her is justified because she did the damage, and just the fact that you're going to bring it up and then drop it now, though, to me, it seems to be a divisive tactic. It seems to be a way to divide a community that was not already divided enough on an issue with this police officer for black and white to divide us again on a situation because Sheffield is being charged with felonies now, but he still has to go to a grand jury to get those charges to apply. So he's still technically going for the misdemeanors until the grand jury wants to raise his charges to a felony. So you're going to give her a felony, him a felony. Now you got the black community really upset. You have most of the owners of Deep Ellum and the Deep Ellum, I think, Association are white individuals. Like you said, and the Arts Festival is one of the hugest biggest things that come to Deep Ellum with a very, very, very mixed crowd. And yeah, they didn't want to see those protesters come there, but I don't think the protesters coming to the art festival was the reason they dropped these charges, Rodney. I do believe the reason they dropped these charges was to divide the city further and sitting into a more racial and hate type spiral situation, and that's just what it's going to do. Like, is if you watch your Facebook page today, and we don't participate in regular Facebook activities, but if you watch your Facebook page, watch the tide of the community roll today, and you'll see some, and sometimes white people aren't as vocal about how they feel about what something comes up, but they're going to be a little bit upset that these charges were dropped against her, even though she really did do this. So where I stand on the whole thing is, I think we should always do what is legally right by everybody. She broke that window, she's got to pay for it. If you're not going to give her a felony, she's got to pay for it, because there has to be a lesson learned. At that situation, after that happened, she should have immediately gone to find the police. She should have escaped the scenario, escaped the situation, got to the police, called the police, let them interact, and it might have been a different thing. But now, since she retaliated, she's going to be charged with something. And they're going to drop the charges, Rodney. Now, what if white people decide to march today because they want her charged with something? Are we going to be mad about that? Because we were just about to go march to do the same thing. And so I think that's where we got to watch what happens here in this community. The DA, he's coming in, he's moving swiftly on a lot of things, and I don't know if he's trying to do it for popularity. Like you said, the charges that were brought up against Amber Geiger were not really sufficient, and now they've upped the charge to murder, and now we're waiting on the trial for that, and that's already going to divide this city. How this verdict comes out, because there's a lot of people that believe she did do it on accident, and there's a whole lot of people that believe that didn't happen on accident. So that trial got moved to September. This trial will probably be around August or June, which is going to keep the city on fire, depending on how that turns out, because with it being so high profile, people are going to want to know. People are going to keep asking the news whatever happened to. So if anybody is, not local in Dallas, you might want to kind of keep your ear to the ground to see what's going on down here, because, this could turn out to be a riotous summer here.
Yeah, man. You know what? You bring up some valid points. I know you had some strong opinions about the situation anyway. Why was she there at 4 a.m.? What was going on? Why would she swing on the guy first when he's holding the gun? I know you had some strong opinions and stuff about that as well, too. And you're right. I think that, with so many high-profile things coming up for Dallas, first of all, our district attorney's name is John Crusoe. He was voted in as district attorney. But he's got a heavy burden over the next few months on trying to regulate and keep things down. And I think part of it, honestly, is the fact that not only I think the protest has some influence on it, because if you think about what happened during the last Hussle lives. Somebody came out there shooting at the cop. And I think that's always in the back of a district attorney's mind, a police chief's mind, when something like that happens, that, anything we can do to kind of keep the civil unrest down, because there's people talking trash on Facebook and not actually talking trash in the streets. I think they're going to do it because of the situation they had before, when we had that large protest after killing black men as well.
But Rodney, at what point do we start charging people and stop letting the protests define what the law does? I'm not saying that it was inappropriate for this to happen, but you tread a fine line here, especially if one community is just happy, like, yeah, we got her off, da 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 da. Now somebody on their community is gonna have to get off. It's a give and take, do we take her for Amber Geiger? And this was a whole thing that I kind of looked at. Are they swapping people for people? Like, okay, she's not going to get any charges, and we're going to find her, guilty of negligent homicide, and she's going to get 10 years probation, and that's going to inflame the community. But then the thing is, it's going to be hard for them to really be mad, because if this young lady gets off, y'all gotta pass, and they just chose the pass that they chose is the one that keeps a young lady from probably serving life in jail, or at least 10 years. So, you know, we got to be careful sometimes, man. Be careful what you pray for. Be careful what you pray for, because sometimes you might have to sacrifice something to get it. So, it's a dirty game, bro.
Yeah, you're right, though. I didn't think about that. I hope it's not a situation of, you know, they're weighing the scales of justice based on who do we want to give justice to? Do we want to make this situation with LaDonjanique right, and so we keep everybody cool, or do we? So that way we can kind of let this Amber Geiger thing just slide on out the back door, or vice versa. So that's an interesting point. We should do a poll. You guys write in, leave comments, let us know what you think. You know, which, you know, if justice should be served in both. Don't get me wrong, but you know we live in America, and that's not necessarily going to be the case. And we live in Dallas. Dallas is not an equal justice city. They're going to pick and choose what needs to happen. You know what I mean? And if you don't think I'm right, look at all the city council members that are currently serving time behind bars. It's not necessarily always an equal justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. Staying Facebook thing. I want to touch on that. Kind of ask first of all to all the people that watch our show and listen. You know, where do you get your news from? News from memes? Do you get your news from the Rise and Grind Morning Show, which you should? I'm curious to want to see where do people get their news from. So we're gonna put up a poll on our Facebook page to find out where do you get your news from. I'm very curious to see. One thing I decided to do, and I know you as well, is I decided to stop getting my news from people on Facebook.
The most inaccurate source.
Really, the whole kind of like, the whole, you know, the Deep Ellum thing, the Nipsey thing, all that stuff just really turned me completely off the social media when everyone's got to comment about what they think happened, what they know happened. You know, anytime someone dies, you know, anytime someone is taken before their time, everybody turns into Sherlock Holmes.
True, even me.
You know, everybody's got an opinion. You know what I mean? It just got to the point where it was so much. I was just like, you know what, man? I really just don't want to listen to you anymore. I don't want to subject my day to find out what you ate or what happened to your kid in school, how your boss didn't give you a raise. I really just want to focus on what I got to do and unplug. And I think that people in our generation, at our age, I'm 40. People in our generation, our age, we have the luxury of remembering a time period when we grew up and social media was not a big thing. And a lot of times we trick ourselves and think, oh man, it was such greater than, you know, going out to meet a girl in person or going out to hang out with your homeboys and things like that. You know, it was such a great time for us, but realistically, that time is still available to us if we decide to unplug and get away from this fake, made-up type of stuff. Anytime a company can curate my life for me and not be doing it myself, it's time for me to unplug. So I decided to really just unfriend everybody on Facebook. And that was difficult, though. That was difficult to do because when I unfriended all my friends list, there were people that were not on the friends list that were still popping up in my feed. So I had to individually, as I see them, go in there and unfriend them as well too. So Facebook, and then they asked me 3 different times if I wanted to deactivate or why would you unfriend people? Hey, do you know you can turn notifications off? They give you all these reasons why you should, man. But I tell you what, 2 days in,
it's a.
As weird as it sounds, I feel totally different. I don't have the app on my phone. I still keep it up for the show page, so I have to log into it on a computer some kind of way. But man, it is such a liberating feeling. What I want to do, what I'm trying to do, and not so much get caught up in something else somebody else has going on. Seeing people comment on people's situations like they really care.
Yeah.
Like they really care, and you really don't care.
Don't give a shit.
Right? You really don't care. when people say, "Hey, can you send me prayers?" Can whatever? Do people really stop what they're doing and pray for them?
No.
No, they just make a comment. They put an emoji with praying. It's just the point where I just want to check out. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. And so far, so good, man. I'm really enjoying it so
I
far.
know you look like you've already lost like 2 or 3 pounds since you shared the
Yeah,
Facebook.
man.
You know, it's interesting. I did it one time. I guess I unplugged for about 2 months, and the first thing that I noticed was all the weird people that drive to work in the morning that I don't pay attention to, like people that are doing eyeliner in the mirror while they go down the freeway. This one guy that I saw that was literally on the freeway reading a book, and I don't know how you read a book going down the freeway and keep your place, but but then I also noticed more sunrises. I also noticed more things about nature, Rodney, and I was thinking about it yesterday as I was riding around and looking at things like going out to a nature preserve and walking. We'll kill 2 hours sitting on the couch scrolling through Facebook while the national championship game is on. And you look up and you've missed the first half because you're sitting here, checking on everybody's little feed and stuff like that. And these are posts from 20 hours yesterday, 24 hours old. But, Rodney, once again, like you mentioned too, like the repetitive comments, the fake comments, it's like high school. It's like a digital high school, and there's a lot of people there that you're cool with that you wouldn't really be friends with, and that you don't hang out. And you made a good point. Like, if you don't have my phone number, if we're not the kind of people that pretty much talk back and forth on the phone, or you can even text me, or you never even made the attempt to text me or try to find out what's going on, we're really not friends. We're really not friends. We just know each other. And then the fact that people can get on and you can make I noticed that the jesters in Facebook win. The people that talk the most noise about a topic versus the people who are being supportive or being real about a topic get more posts, get more likes. Someone throws out, a post that basically demeans women, but this dude is seen as someone that is hilarious. So now he can basically go through and demean women with these memes, like you said, and women will find it funny. So I don't really like the fact that like Facebook allows people not to think. Like you said, you just like and you want to be liked, and you want to check out popularity things, and you want to put something up there at a concert, and then the next 10 minutes of the concert, you want to look and see who's liking what you did. Then the end of the concert comes up and you're like, it was an okay concert. It was an amazing concert. You missed the whole concert because you were checking on your Facebook followers, seeing who was liking it. So, sometimes you do have to unplug, Rodney, and I feel bad for those people who have relationships. And I had this in a relationship a long time ago before Facebook and smartphones got real popular, that you have that person that doesn't unplug when they get home and they forget about the family or forget about you, and they're just here like this the whole evening, sit on the couch. What are you doing?
The whole
I'm just,
evening. And I have all girls. I have three girls at home, so trust me,
that's
I know.
how they do. It's all phone, and then it brings a divide because you don't know who you're with anymore. The person that you're with don't know who you with, and the person that is looking on their cell phone the entire time don't know who they're with either. You've lost that relationship. You've lost that connection unless you're just sitting there talking to them through Facebook, which is even worse. So,
I just want to disassociate myself with that. Facebook is different than other platforms to me because you have to be friends with someone, and when you're friend with someone, you see all their stuff and they see your stuff. The only way for them to see your stuff is to be their friend. While on the other platforms, I think have a little bit more. They're a little better because, of course, you can pick and choose who you follow, and people can follow you without you having to follow them. So it's a little bit different. But I'm slowly weaning myself off of that. I use the analogy for those that want to try this, and if you agree with us that it's time to unplug, this is a simple analogy for you. Okay, at some point in the '80s. Smoking crack was cool.
Oh yeah.
All right. Crack is just as addictive as social media. Believe it or not, there's people that leave their job They go to their cars and get on their phones and go through social media. All right, just use that. Just use that analogy. Smoke social media is just like crack. And at one point in the '80s, crack was cool. But eventually, when your teeth started falling out, and you quit going to work, and you started stealing VCRs, crack became socially unacceptable at that point. And we saw the dangers of what crack could do. So no one smokes crack now, for the most part. And eventually, I think no one's going to be doing social media as well, too. It'll be something different. What's going on? Come get me, Scotty. They're going to kill me. I always think about that for New Jack City. Scotty, I'm going to die.
Government stole my baby. But if you think about it, that you hear outlandish shit on Facebook like you do with crackheads. We grew up on the south side of town, so you know how crackheads do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is.
We know how crackheads
It's addicted, dog. And I admit, I get addicted. I think I'm just addicted to like scrolling. If I could just come up with an app that just allowed me to like scroll endlessly, like just you could just put random words on there, and I just be like, which I probably would be brainwashing myself at that point. Just, speed reading stuff like that. But nah, bro, it's a good thing to disconnect. Like I said, it's been interesting. I made one comment on my Facebook page, and I pretty much hadn't checked it since then. But yeah, it's a new world. It's a whole new world, as Jasmine says. A whole new world.
Mm-hmm. And there's an app out there for those that don't know how much crack you smoking. There's an app out there that would track the amount of time we spend on social media. I challenge everybody just to download the app, check it out in 1 week, find out how much crack you've been smoking this week.
The dope dealer got you. Got you.
Just take the time just to do your own science experiment and see how much crack you smoke. And then at the end of the day, you be like, man, out of 24 hours out of the day, I smoke crack for at least 3 hours.
You say it like that, dog. I smoke crack for at least 3 hours. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm. It's horrible.
Your boss might be mad.
Well, before we wrap up the show, we got to touch on the election news. Of course, we are promoting. We are pushing for our write-in candidate, Mr. Omie for 2020. So we're gonna touch on that real fast. We got a lot more stuff to go. We got to interview some of the cabinet members coming up. But we're going to touch on something that Trump has been alluding to the last couple of days. That's closing the southern border. Like literally closing down the border at Mexico. Because of the influx of people, I've heard estimates about over 1 million people will migrate to the southern border. It should be the largest that we've ever had. And he is threatening to shut down the border. By shutting it down, we're talking about, the ramifications of that are not just no people coming over here, folks. The ramifications are car parts, cars, produce, clothes. I don't think people understand what kind of stuff crosses that border and how much crosses the border on a daily basis. So, your thoughts as a writing candidate on the southern border and what do we do at the southern border?
First off, avocados are from Mexico, right? So unless we want table-side guacamole to go up to $50 a bowl, we're not shutting down the southern border. And with avocado being the miracle fruit right now that's saving people's lives and keeping people healthy, you're not going to shut down the border and take away avocados. Like, maybe I'm just the only person that's really upset about avocados going sky high. But you're right, Rodney. We've got factories in Mexico that make cars, that make car parts, that make other things that come into this country. Those things are now going to go sky high because they're going to have to be imported through another means. If they can't come across the border, they're going to have to fly across. Like, are you stopping all trains that are sending stuff to Mexico? Like, what is the whole purpose of this border shutdown? You're shutting down the border. You've already caused truck drivers that are going to Mexico or from Mexico to have an extra 2 to 3 hours on their drive just to get through border security right now because you tighten things up. And I'm not against that, but the thing is, you could stop wasting all this time with shutting borders down, and you could do what you really need to do with probably half or a third of that money. Make the border a more immigration friendly area. You know, make naturalizations areas. Like, hey, if you're going to come here and you want to do this thing, yeah, you're going to come through here. We're going to have to process you. It might take 24 hours. I'm sorry, you know, but here's a cot. But we can guarantee you and your family within 24 hours, we'll know if you're able to come into the country or we have to let you go back to Mexico or whatever country you walked here from due to certain reasons. But however, if you do bring them in here, and you can naturalize them that way, you can give them social security numbers. You can get photo IDs. You can get fingerprints. You can get all the things that you need on file, birth certificates, things like that, to let these people come into the country legitimately. You know, why are we doing it? You know, we've let them come in the country from that side of the world for probably since the beginning of time and didn't really give a shit. Now, all of a sudden, we got to find a common enemy in the world, and we're going to make it the Mexicans. We want to make it the Mexican border. Like, come on, bro. He's once again, he's a divisive individual. He's completely breaking the country apart. I said this to a friend the other day. If your children bold-faced lied to you, like this man has bold-faced, literally punched somebody in the face, you ask your kid, did they do it? They say, no, I didn't do it. Or I don't recall doing it. And you know they did it. You smack your kid around. Your kid wouldn't be, you know, allowed to do certain things anymore. This man bold-faced lies to the country and people still support him. Like, I understand Hillary Clinton lied. I understand Obama probably lied. I understand Bush probably lied. I understand Clinton probably lied. Well, we know Clinton lied. But all these people have lied about stuff. Most of y'all out there right now probably gonna lie about something today. But the thing about it is, when you lie to somebody, it's not like you're bold-faced lying and telling them you didn't do it. It's like, hey, did you steal the cookies from the cookie jar? No, I never stole the cookies from the cookie jar. It wasn't like you was like, yeah, I did. And then they were like, did you steal the chocolate chip cookies? It's like, no, I don't remember stealing any cookies from the cookie jar. What are you talking about? I never said that I stole cookies from the cookie jar. It's like, you don't do that. That's just not how we as humans interact. And if those are the kind of people you want to hang out with, then you're the one that's the problem for this country. It's not him. It's not everybody else. It's you, because you will allow someone to lie to you to your face, you know, and not tell you, well, we're going to try to do this. We're going to try to do this. Just bold-faced lie about what they didn't do, man. I don't care what you're going to try to do. I don't care you want to close the border down. I don't care you want to legalize this. I don't care if you want to make gas $4 on a gallon. I don't care if you want to help with Russia and stuff like that. But be a politician. Tell us you're going to do stuff. Don't do it and go make some money under the table. You know, but right now, this country is more divided than ever. It's more divided than ever, Rodney. And for him just to sit here and now try to close the border, you really want to put white people against all the minorities. And they are the minority. And so you're really putting people in a bad situation. You know, whether you want to look at it like they got these concentration camps, they got this, they got that, they got this. At any point, if one of these groups of minorities, especially I believe the Mexicans are the largest group of minorities, they're just the largest group of people in this country right now. If they decide that they're done with it and they're going to take over everybody, let's just say the Mexicans get really mad about this. I mean, really mad about this, bro. Like enslaved white people mad. You know, like, what's going to happen? Like, what does the president do? What does the president do when 20 million people decide to storm the White House? You know, what does the president do when people are upset and the military has chosen not to back him anymore because of the things that he's decided to do domestically here in this country? And he doesn't have people. And as you've seen in movies, Rodney, when corrupt leaders start taking things too far, it's one thing to mess with other countries, but when you start messing over people domestically, where their families live, where these troops who go fight for this country, their family lives, when they start losing out, those people are going to start wondering about that oath that they took. You know, we're supposed to be protecting the country. Now you're using us to hurt the country. You know, I'd hate for that to come. I hate for it to be some type of Die Hard movie in here where we got to send a group of people in to eliminate the president because he's pretty much just, got half the military going out shoot stuff that you see in other countries. Just going down, gunning down people.
And we know he's got a mental
Yes.
illness, and I don't know why people pay attention when he said close the border. I didn't believe him at
No,
all, because number one, he can't do it. He's not gonna do
he's
it.
ludicrous.
He loves avocados too. He's got a resort in Florida that I'm sure they sell plenty of avocado
Oh
toast,
yeah.
and I'm sure he's not gonna close the
Oh no.
border.
But the thing is, Rodney, to use the threat to divide the country again, and to find that the way
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
politics moving in your country is to divide the people. That's not
Mhm.
a politician, and that's not what American politics was created for. And the
Right.
fact that people don't even know that, I believe it's in the Bill of Rights or the Constitution, one of the two, but it does say if the government is not like treating the people right, you have the right to take up arms and establish a new government. And
Yeah.
that's just something we as Americans, we're sitting here now trying to get rid of our right to bear arms, bro. And the more I think about it, the more it is wrong for them to take that Second Amendment right away. Because if you do take that Second Amendment right away, you don't have 40 million people now that have guns that are saying, you know what, we don't really like this government. And we're all willing to
Yeah.
take our concealed handgun license or our open carry stuff to your little White House and let you know,
Mhm.
or take over the city and let you know that we're not going for that. And you see that in other countries, man. These dudes jump on the back of the little 89 Toyota truck, strap a 50 cal to the top of that, and they all riding around with AKs ready to drop troops, because they're ready for their government to
Mhm.
do it. And sometimes they throw rocks. And then sometimes this leads to a different election. This is like, hey, look, we're the government, but we got to do another election because we're losing troops. People are dying out there for this, and it brings attention, and we alluded to it earlier. In a social media society where all people want to do is get attention, the best way to get things done is to do something drastic to grab attention, to bring the news cameras to
Yeah.
what your cause is.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the part I'm hoping that, even if they do reelect a Republican in 2020, I hope it's not him, because I'd hate to see the country go down to that avenue of revolution, revolution. But sadly, I do think that that's where we're headed. Another 4 years of him, there's going to be a revolution. There's going to be some tragic stuff, and there's going to be some people that are really going to stand up. But like I said, once you know the law and what you're really capable of as a human being and what your rights are in this country, you can change. Like I said, 30 million people over here decide that they're against the government right now. I don't think you're going to have the military willing to kill its own people if its own people are socially unhappy. So, I think this is just another stupid tactic by him. Bro, I would never close down a border, whether it's the east border, west border, southern border. Do I feel like we need to protect our borders from people? Yes, we need to know who's coming across here, but the best way to do that is to spend this money to allow those people to be detained for maybe a couple hours so they can become registered citizens. Even if they're registered citizens and you have to come back and say, hey, you're now registered. You got to come back in 6 months, like a probationary period. We got to check in with you every month. We got these immigration stations that you can kind of go in and get checked out. We know you're around every month, and then boom, 6 months later, you're full-fledged
Yeah.
citizen.
Yeah.
We know where you are. You got a job. You're established. And that's the thing. We just want to know who the people are that are coming into the country. We don't want just any random people, and we're not going to say that these are terrorists coming across this country border, Rodney, because we know what the last terrorists in this country, what race they were. And so we're not going to use that excuse. There's no excuse for what he's doing, Rodney. None. Hands down.
No doubt. But well said, President-elect 2020, right in, Omar Lutz. Well said, well said. Well, before we close out the show, this just came down the news wire. We were talking about Nipsey and the impact he's had on the culture, but it looks like Jay-Z has created a $15 million trust fund for Nipsey's kids.
Okay.
So, people talk about saying RIP, but at least someone is actually doing something, for this guy's kids. So hats off to Jay-Z for doing that. Uh, but before we go, my quick grind tip of the
Yep.
day, I want people to really just focus on, I guess, what's the best way to put it? Be interested in the people that are interested in
Mm-hmm.
you. Okay? Um, Stop being so interested in people that are not interested in you. Those 8,000 plus people that interacted with us on our Facebook page, and on YouTube, and on our Instagram channel that follow the show. I want you guys to know I'm interested in what you have going on. I'm not interested in
Yep.
anybody else. All right, because you guys have shown interest in us. We're gonna do everything we can to cultivate our relationship together, provide you guys some meaningful content, give you some value added to your day, 2 days out the week. So we're interested in you because you guys are interested in us. And it goes for anybody out there that's doing something, stop worrying about the people that don't follow you, or the people that don't really uh, spend money with you. All right, quit worrying about them. Just focus on the people that are interested in you, and that's the key to every business. No one, trust me, when McDonald's only cares about McDonald's
Yep.
customers. They don't care about who's going to Burger King. They don't care about who's going to Wendy's. They only care about those that show up and they drive through and walk in their
True.
doors. So that's just a tip for everybody on the grind. If you're on the grind, you only focus on the people that are focused on you. Don't worry about nothing else. Eliminate those distractions. Log out from Facebook, whatever the case may be, but only stay interested in those that are interested in
Agreed.
you.
100%. That's who shows love. Like I was told once, only like the girls that like you. That's where you get your best luck from. So, man, I
Yeah.
appreciate all 8,000 people checking us out. Like I said, follow me on Instagram. I am Omie, Omied. Follow me there. All kinds of craziness. I got some pictures of some crawfish from yesterday I'm going to put up there, and the stuff from the Rangers game, and always all the crap that I do all weekend. But, hey, man, I appreciate you guys checking us out, send us information so we can check what you guys got going on. If you're up early and you got something pretty hot and you want to get in, let us know. We'll let you, call in on the old Skype. We'll put you over here in the left corner and let you join the show for a while. But like I said, we appreciate all of you guys, and there's nothing more important to us than you guys. So,
And for that note, we'll see you guys next week, man. Rise and Grind Morning Show.
Hold on.